Now you know me, I love a good car. But some cars, well, they're not just cars, are they? They're masterpieces. Rolling sculptures with more horsepower than God intended. I'm talking about automotive unicorns. Legends whispered about in hushed tones, locked away in climate-controlled garages. These beauties are the stuff of dreams, my friends. With price tags that'd make your eyes water and designs that'd make a grown man weep. These aren't just cars, they're investments. They're a statement. So, buckle up, grab a cuppa, and prepare to feast your eyes on 10 of the rarest, most expensive, and most drool-worthy cars ever to grace this planet. You might want to have a bib handy. Things are about to get a bit petrol-powered sexy up in here. Right, let's dive straight in, shall we? This, my friends, is the Gibbs Aquada. Part car, part boat, all awesome. Imagine cruising along a coastal road, then bam! You fancy a dip in the ocean. This bad boy transforms from tarmac terror to nautical nutter in 10 seconds. Powered by a V6 engine, it hits 100 miles per hour on land and 30 knots on water. Only 20 were made, now worth 50 grand each. Be prepared for strange looks at the boat ramp. Now we're talking about a car that's less about practicality and more about making a statement. This, my friends, is the Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta. It's Italian, it's ridiculously expensive, and it's got more curves than a Tuscan mountain road. Let's start with the price, shall we? $20 million, or you could buy one of these. But what do you get for your hard-earned millions? Well, for starters, you get a car that looks like it was designed by aliens. The Zonda HP Barchetta is a symphony of carbon fiber, curves, and aerodynamic wizardry. And check out that windshield, or lack thereof. Under the hood, you'll find a 6-liter V12 engine that produces a mind-bending 800 horsepower. But the real beauty of this car isn't just the speed, it's the way it makes you feel. It's the sound of that engine roaring behind your head, it's the wind whipping through your hair. Only 3 of these beauties were ever made, and one of them is owned by Mr. Pagani himself. So unless you've got a spare $20 million lying around and a direct line to Italy, you're probably not going to be parking one of these in your garage anytime soon. But hey, a petrolhead can dream, right? This, my friends, is the Stout Scarab. Now before you click away thinking, Clarkson's lost it, that's just a boring old van, let me stop you right there. This is no ordinary van. This is a car so far ahead of its time it makes Doc Brown's DeLorean look like a horse-drawn carriage. See, the Scarab was dreamt up back in 1935 by a bloke named William Stout. He looked at the cars of the day and thought, this is all a bit rubbish, isn't it? So what did he do? He created the Scarab. This thing was revolutionary. It was one of the first cars to feature a fiberglass body, independent suspension, and a rear-mounted engine. Decades before the Porsche 911 made it cool, the Scarab was also incredibly spacious for its time. Think of it as the original minivan, only much, much cooler. It even had a table and swiveling chairs. Sadly, the Scarab's futuristic design was its downfall. It was expensive to build, and people just weren't ready for a car that looked like a cross between a Zeppelin and a bread van. Only 9 were ever made, and today, only 5 are known to survive. Chapter 4. Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Coupe, the $135 million masterpiece. Now we're talking about serious money, people. This is the Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Coupe. In 2022, one of these sold for $135 million. That's right, $135 million. Only 2 were ever made, and they were built as race cars. Capable of hitting speeds over 186 miles per hour. Mercedes locked them away in a vault. The car was their prized possession. Now some lucky individual gets to park it in their garage. Chapter 5. 1904, Rolls-Royce, 15 GP. The $35 million grandfather of luxury. Now listen up, you lot, because we're about to go on a journey back in time. Back to the dawn of motoring, when cars were more about adventure than airbags. This, my friends, is the 1904 Rolls-Royce 15 GP. It's the car that started it all for Rolls-Royce, the granddaddy of luxury motoring. And trust me, this old boy is still looking pretty sprightly for his age. Now, I know what you're thinking. Clarkson, that thing looks like it was built out of spare parts from a penny-farthing bicycle. But don't let its somewhat rudimentary appearance fool you. This car was a technological marvel back in its day. It had a top speed of, wait for it, 40 miles per hour. I know, positively pedestrian by today's standards, but back then, that was like traveling at the speed of sound. Only 6 of these bad boys were ever made, and today only 1 is known to survive. It's currently valued at over $35 million, making it one of the most valuable cars in the world, and just like Concorde, it was incredibly expensive. Chapter 6. The Bugatti Chiron Supersport, 300 plus, Breaking the sound barrier, almost. Alright, let's be honest, who here hasn't dreamt of driving a Bugatti? And not just any Bugatti, but the Chiron Supersport 300 Plus. This, my friends, is the car that laughed in the face of physics and said, "Hold my champagne, I'm going for a record." This beast is the definition of automotive excess. It's got a quad-turbocharged 8-liter W16 engine that produces a mind-boggling 1,600 horsepower. It's also got a price tag that's just as mind-boggling, $3.5 million. But hey, when you can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.4 seconds and hit a top speed of 304 miles per hour, who's counting? Bugatti are counting because they've limited production to just 30 units. That's right, only 30 lucky and incredibly wealthy individuals will ever get to experience the thrill of driving this car. The Chiron Supersport 300 Plus is like nothing else on the road. It's brutally fast, ridiculously expensive, and about as subtle as a brick through a plate glass window. Right, listen up you petrol-sniffing hooligans, because we're about to delve into the world of hypercars. And not just any hypercar, oh no, this is the Aston Martin Valkyrie. This, my friends, is what happens when Formula One engineers get bored and decide to build a road car. It's got a 6.5-liter V12 engine that screams like a banshee on steroids, and an electric motor that provides an extra kick in the pants when you need it most. All told, the Valkyrie pumps out a whopping 1,155 horsepower. That's enough to power a small town or propel you from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a time that's best measured with a stopwatch. But the Valkyrie isn't just about brute force. Oh no, this car is a masterpiece of aerodynamics. It's got more wings and spoilers than an aircraft carrier, and it generates so much downforce, it could probably drive upside down in a tunnel. All this technology doesn't come cheap, of course. The Valkyrie will set you back a cool $2.89 million. And even if you can afford it, good luck getting your hands on one. Aston Martin is only building 150 of them, and they're all spoken for. Chapter 8. The Amelia Island Record Setter, a French beauty for a king's ransom. Now this is a car with a story to tell. This, my friends, is the Amelia Island Record Setter, and it's not just a mouthful to say, it's also a feast for the eyes. This French beauty is a rare bird, one of only 2 ever made with this particular body style. And what a body it is! Designed by the legendary Pagani et Falaschi, it's a masterpiece of curves and elegance. But the Amelia Island Record Setter isn't just a pretty face. Under that sleek aluminum skin beats the heart of a lion. Well, not literally of course. That wouldn't be very practical, would it? No, this beauty is powered by a 6-cylinder inline engine that produces a respectable 142 horsepower. Not bad for a car that's over 80 years old. So, how much did this piece of automotive art fetch at auction? Hold on to your berets because this is where it gets interesting. The Amelia Island Record Setter sold for a staggering $13.4 million, making it the most expensive French car ever sold at auction. That's right, $13.4 million. For a car that's older than your grandparents. Chapter 9, Bugatti Type 57, SC Atlantic, the elusive enigma worth millions. Now, we're talking about a car that's shrouded in mystery and legend. This is the Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic, one of the rarest and most beautiful cars ever made. Only 4 were ever built, each with a unique story. Created by Jean Bugatti, it was a masterpiece of Art Deco design. Its sleek lines and iconic dorsal seam made it a standout, but it wasn't just a pretty face. It had a 3.3-liter straight-8 engine, producing around 200 horsepower. It could reach over 120 miles per hour. Tragically, one was destroyed in a train crash. Another, owned by John Bugatti, vanished without a trace. The remaining 2 are now worth over $100 million each. Chapter 10, Lamborghini Veneno Roadster, the $7.6 million birthday present. Right, let's end with a bang, shall we? And what better way to do that than with a Lamborghini? But not just any Lamborghini. This is the Lamborghini Veneno Roadster. And it's about as subtle as a firework display in a library. This, my friends, is what happens when Lamborghini decides to throw a party for itself. You see, the Veneno Roadster was built to celebrate Lamborghini's 50th anniversary, and they only made 9 of them. So, what do you get for your $7.6 million? Well, you get a car that looks like it was designed by a team of fighter jet engineers after a heavy night out. It's got more wings, scoops, and spoilers than you can shake a stick at. And then there's the engine, a 6.5-liter V12 that produces a mind-bending 740 horsepower. But the Veneno Roadster isn't just about speed. It's about making a statement. It's about showing the world that you've arrived. It's about driving a car so rare, so exclusive, that it makes Ferraris and McLarens look like Toyotas and Hondas. Outrow park it like you stole it. So there we have it, a right royal tour of automotive exotica that's left me sweating like a bishop in a brothel. If these mechanical marvels haven't got your petrolhead hearts thumping, then you need to check your pulse. If you enjoyed this high-octane romp through the world's rarest rides, give the video a hearty thumbs up. It really helps get the word out to fellow car enthusiasts. And don't forget to tell me in the comments which of these beauties you'd most like to take for a spin, even if it's just in your dreams. For those of you new to the channel, welcome aboard. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future automotive adventures. Until next time, keep the rubber side down and the dream alive.